Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is We're coming to you with Company of Heroes 2 actions 1v1 today between Ace over here on the western side, playing as the Wehrmacht. He's already thrown down his infantry company. He's bringing on Jaeger Armor Doctrine, and Mechanized Assault Doctrine, and Elite Troops. So I think we're going to see some sort of heavy tank by the end of the game with him. His opponent over here on the eastern side of Kholodny Ferma, it's not winter, but it is NA's best Tomakaze. So Tomakaze playing as the USF, going to be Rifle Company, or Tech Support, or Armor Company. So for the first time in a long time, I am not seeing any sort of Pershing late game tank, and that's astounding to me. We said this, that always seems to be just very much a standard play from the United States players. Now, Ace starting up with a Machine Gun Grenadier opening. When it's a 1v1, you want to have that early firepower coming on out, and he does have that, shifting up to the north to pick up strategic and then the fuel points I would warrant. But before that, though, we will see Tomakaze, of course, is opening up with 2 rifleman squads. Not probably going to see any sort of immediate early mortar, play. That perhaps is not to be unexpected. Now, if I can't say, kind of frankly, I kind of miss the Jeep from the Company of Heroes 1. You don't see anything like that being used too often. The closest I think we could really say is, actually not even this. There is that, oh my gosh, can't think of that US Commander. It gives you a couple of light vehicles early on, an M2HB machine gun mounted on the back of a Jeep. I think it's like tactical support or something like that. Of course not, the tactical support right there. Good gosh, I can't think of what it is. But in the meantime, we will see first engagements do happen. We see the Pioneers jumping into the church, then jumping right back out as they come under holy fire from the riflemen. Now, in the meantime, though, we will see Grenadiers are going to be holding the line as they pick up that strategic point. MG will hold this northern flank rather efficiently as riflemen do pick up the first strategic point for the U.S. for the game. Grenadiers and rear echelons do kind of meet up in combat here, but we both know that's not going to be a particularly good engagement for the rear echelons. Now, I think what's going to happen, though, is we're just seeing machine gun's going to get forced on around, doesn't realize his riflemen are there, and we just have a wet noodle contest for a little bit of time as both sides just try to engage as effectively as possible and pretty much fail at it. So a couple of dings being exchanged, a couple of scratches back and forth, but at the end of the day, the Germans still do hold this center position by the church. Now, I kind of feel like they could have been better served by jumping back into that, but Ace decides differently. Instead, bringing in a 3rd Grenadier squad. I cannot wait to see. He's got one moving again down to the south. I guess he's trying to pick up this last strategic point as the Americans leave their own strategic point on a cap to go after this munitions point, moving with 2 rifleman squads. Now, it is going to be, in fact, that oh so annoying US meta. Now, please forgive me if there isn't any kind of sound in the background. It sounds like there is some sort of, what's I'm looking for here? Lawn mowing happening here, so hopefully I can either speak up a little bit, or you guys can kind of bear with me. I do apologize. We're still just on the edge of summer, so at the same time, people over here are kind of going for that last occasional Sunday mow. I kind of wish it wasn't happening at 6 o'clock on an evening, though. In any case, mortar does come on out, which means that this church is no longer a tenable strong point. You'll see that happen in just a second here. Already dropping down rounds with that 80mm stonepipe. And Grenadiers going to be exchanging fire with these riflemen, and they're doing it on the wrong side of this cover as well. But with that MG in support, we will see that they finally get the first kill. Okay, first kill of the game goes down over here to those Grenadiers, and the machine gun picking up one himself. But in the meantime, riflemen do control the southern portion of this field. And the Americans are losing, actually, their only VP on the map as of this time. Riflemen realize that, try to pick up one of their own in the meantime, but it will be a few seconds of uncontested, unmitigated 1-0 killing. Pioneers, in the meantime, do match off against the rear echelon teams as escalating to battle phase 1 occurs over on the west. And the Germans find their control in the center part of the field roughly challenged. Decap does happen, and amusingly enough, these riflemen were able to still get close enough to the tank to get green cover from that. That's a little bit unfortunate from the German side. Now, mortar to the north, he's going to drop rounds down on top of that VP, and does ever so delicately shift away those Grenadiers. In the meantime, though, we did see a Flammenwerfer 35 coming on to this Pioneer squad, and the effect of that, rear echelons are encouraged rather definitively to back away. Now we're seeing a tech up. Yes, we are. We're going to see a lieutenant. Oh, no, excuse me. An M2HP, so the lieutenant has already come out. Forgive me for missing that right there. So lieutenant is out, which means that he's going to go for a little bit of a lighter mid-game over on the U.S. side. Can't say I really kind of blame him. I think putting that M2HP right here is a good idea, for at least the time being, until the Germans can bring up their own mortar team. Destroyed. What the heck, they dropped down? Curious. Could not say for the life of me what exactly was put down there, but I think the rifle, the mortars definitely destroyed it, and the after fact of that is being shown in the health of these poor pioneers.
We are losing a sector.
Now, unfortunately for the rear echelons, they can't survive firepower, literally of that magnitude. The pioneers come on up and will catch this mortar team out by itself, and that close and personal is going to be a fair amount of damage being done DPS-wise. Should be a heck of a lot more vicious than it is. Might see a model or two going down. But MGs is going to get completely flanked, and it looks like the Pioneers are going to try to get themselves down to a southern retreat point before they back away, and dear God, it looks like first death is being picked up by the USF. They do take that MG42, which is a bad loss to take, and with this, Germans nowhere near the center part of the map, this M2HB could be devastating inside this garrison. It's a foot race to see who gets there first, and it is not going to be the Germans, so Ace is going to get hit hard by this. 6 minutes in, though, Germans still continue to hold a good portion of the map. Indeed, they still push back a lot of troops here and there. But there's going to be no immediate Stuart coming out for quite a bit of time. I mean, of course, we are going to need a lot more fuel before he comes on in. Was that 75, 85 fuel? 60 fuel. I can never honestly do that because US is not my first choice. 222, though, is out in the field, but he's going up against that 50 cal, and that armor-piercing rounds, that's pretty darn good. And you see the effects of that happening right here. Dear God, the thing might even get picked off completely. No, just barely makes it out alive. And that is what an M2HB can do to your light vehicles. But while the Germans are languishing without really any kind of fuel, so do the US. They're finding themselves getting decapped. And Ace is going, bizarrely enough, for a sniper. I mean, it's not the worst decision. That's not maybe the best one. Wehr coming up from behind his bushes. He's going to unleash a breath or two at that lieutenant. And the lieutenant is throwing a pineapple, but he's not going to be anywhere close to it. Oh no, pineapples galore. So apparently they're hoping the Germans like fruit. But what this will happen instead is that while one guy might go down, maybe even a second one, this rifleman squad's going to suffer in relative weakness here. Sharpshooter is out, and that Pioneer is going to get out alive just barely, so that's a good opportunity right there. Mortar team has dropped rounds down on top of this Grenadier squads, but now there are 8 K98s unleashing some good firepower here on that lieutenant. Lieutenant should probably back out pretty darn quick, but Tomakaze is still... Ooh, that was a really weird retreat path, but he makes it out alive. This is very strange. Dear God, Ace is getting base locked here. Poor guy. Mortar team is setting up outside the base. He's going to start dropping rounds right in this area. And if he even takes out 1 or 2 of these squads, that would be enough. And with the M2HB here, Germans are completely base locked. What's more, this sniper is actually inside. Wow. He's inside line of sight there, so that sucks. And my usual love for the Germans is getting outweighed by just the sheer American firepower being levied out here. It does not seem to matter who their daddy is or what he does, because even with a couple of squads backing up, that mortar, M2HB, and Kholodny Ferma is very difficult to dislodge without mortars of your own, which he does not have. Now, if you can get close enough, oh my gosh, he's rushing on in. Crazy attack, throwing his troops in like just out of sheer bloody madness here. And with that, he successfully pulls himself back from the edge. MG42 has dropped back, so can again be a Axis piece of equipment, and Ace breaks the base lock. So well done there. Pioneers, in the meantime, will suffer in relative immobility as they try to decap this under position. 10 minutes have gone by, not picking up that point, unfortunately. And actually, dual flamethrowers. Wow. I'm surprised that these lieutenant is even hanging on out here. Well, Pineapple's going on out. He's trying to bring in that one Pioneer squad, but doesn't manage to sucker him on in. Another one shooting. Needs to back away. He needs to back away right now, but no, he explodes. And that was a missed microplay right there. 222 goes down because of the AA half-track, and I think that's probably why he lost the way that he did. And Ace, just when I think I want to sing his praises and be like, hey, dude, way to go, he's not doing it again. In fact, he gets beaten right back down.
New anti-tank gun has arrived.
And the U.S. just starts to get in a delicious amount of fuel here. How is he going for any sort of... No, he's not going for any one of those just yet. He could go for that captain. He's not going to, but he could. This AA half-track way away out of range of this Pack 40. This Pack 40 obviously has just come onto the field. Nothing to worry about. Sharpshooter, where's he? Well, he's only got 1 kill so far because there's been no medic bunker thrown up in base. Partially because the Germans can't afford any kind of medic bunker. But he could afford another flamethrower, so, you know, kind of mixed messages there. And lots of grenades being thrown on out. Not entirely sure why, but I guess that's to cover against his Pack 40. Pretty sure that Pack 40 doesn't see a whole lot. No, he does not. He doesn't see anywhere close to this area. But now this screams new fire position. Nope, it's just barely out of range, dear God. So that half-track just getting out. 1 or 2 rounds that would be enough to kill him. That's a rear armor hit right there. He's going to be out of range for a second one. And in the meantime, Stovepipe gets back into action, dropping rounds on top of the heads of those poor Pioneers. Ace is just stymied completely. He goes down to tickets for the first time during this match. And despite the fact that Tomakaze's troops are wounded nearly unto death. Wait, why is he sending him out with 1? Wait, what the heck? Not sure what's going on here now, but this seems kind of moronic, actually. Okay, rifle grenade into the house. That would be a good idea there. And I think those riflemen finally went back to get healed up. No, they did not. Oh, he's just... Okay, he's reinforcing up here. Alright. I take back part of my objection right now. With the ammo so far forwards, and with the death of the 222, he can be as aggressive as he wants to be here. And that's going to really cost the Germans. As now the Americans are in the middle part of the map, they have pretty much a strong point wherever they want to go here. And here comes the reinforce, and this is a perfect position. Wow, this is going to be impossible to engage, I feel like. Especially with what's currently on the field for the Germans. Now, that half-track I thought for half a second got taken on out, but no, he's back here. He's got a number of kills already. 3 kills doesn't seem... It seems like it should be a lot more than that, but no... Nope, it does not seem to be the case. Germans, in the meantime, though, are under a trip cap. And wherever the Germans seem to be with 1, and oh my gosh, he's playing baseball with these guys as a retreat. Well, guys, of course, when you have 58 munitions coming on in, and every single one of these grenades only costs 30, you're getting 2 grenades a minute, and, you know, well, more or less about 2 grenades a minute, about 1.95, I guess. Sharpshooter finally gets, what, his 2nd kill? No, he's up to 7 kills, and I'm surprised by that. Still doesn't have his 1st star veterancy, which means he's not going to be that massive killing machine. And what's more, now there's a major on the field with 15 minutes in. The Ace has just been completely slaughtered. He's not going to be able to do anything against this. At least he has his medic bunker up, finally. Down to the south, in the meantime, we'll see P. Grants are going to face on off against this AA half-track. Oh, never mind, there they go. A 20mm cannon and a dual machine guns, that's going to do a dirty amount of damage there. Hey, look, the 1st star veterancy on this sniper. He finally has some worth in the field. Unfortunately, Ace has no way of really teching up too effectively. I mean, he could tech up, but what is he going to do for another, like, 5 minutes after that? The Grenadiers are surprisingly enough trying to engage through the smokescreen. With one brave man, Klaus, going through the clouds, and, shockingly enough, encouraging a pullback. MG42 gets forced to retreat. They captured MG42 at that. But it's still a triple cap here, and the Germans don't have anywhere near the amount of firepower that they need. This sniper is way too far forward. This Grenadier squad's very much outmatched. And this Pack 40 is only trundling on up to the front right now. As you can see right there, missing that first shot is not going to be too well received. Grenadier squad going on down, and that's just a shame right there. But between the lieutenant and the mortar, and even the rear echelons here, P-Guns are probably going to be outgunned. And a pineapple goes right back out again. So more pineapples going out like crazy, but doesn't need to worry about the P-Guns right now. He should just be focusing instead this anti-tank gun. And Ace, desperately trying to come up with another idea, throws in some more P-Guns. And Tomakaze, what's going to do right now, just wait a minute or two and he can start bringing in those Shermans. He ran an M8A1 right now, but no, it'd be better for him to just call in a Sherman. He's floating at an absolute ridiculous amount of manpower. But I think he's just going for that last 2 fuel, and then we'll see a lot of that vanish. And strangely enough, the sniper's the best killer on the map. Getting 12 scalps already. And Tomakaze continues to float, and the Germans continue to sink further and further into their own mess. Now, Grenadier squad's in the north holding up this strong point, but not really controlling any area, so what does it matter right there? And this is finally almost going to go down, I think. Oh, mortar team. The mortar finally went down. Okay, that was kind of a weird drop right there. I guess that was the sniper doing some real business. And Peakren's not able to push on in, but they're getting... Not that, not that, not that. Oh, rifle grenade? That's what he used his last munitions on? Curious. And somehow, despite the fact that he's being spanked for the last, like, 5 minutes here, well, the Germans are pushing on out of their own side of the map. Which should not be happening. Major, though, does have an established retreat point right here, which means that these Americans, well, they're just going to reinforce like crazy. They're like rats, my friend. And finally, at long last, that Sherman will start to come on out, but there are 2 pack guns here, so could this be the beginning of the end for the Americans, or is it still going to be just that bad for the Germans? I don't know, but the Flammenwerfer is going to do some good damage, I would think, against this lieutenant. Out in the open, never mind, he's going to get pushed on back by that BAR. And the German packs are not able to do a whole lot, but now there's the lieutenant against that sniper's got 16 kills. No bundle grenades happening in there, and there's 2 machine guns back to back. Not being set up in the best spot, perhaps. But Tomakaze hasn't really had to worry about too much about actually taking any bad engagements. Mostly assisted by his opponent's mishandling of that 222. And watch this Grenadier squad disappear. Watch the Germans in the southern part of the map disappear. And the second that we see a pack crew, watch this pack crew disappear. And now that the Sherman's here, all that's left, what, 2 pack guns against a Sherman and the AA half-track and just a mess of anti-infantry. So no, it's not going to go well. And it's going to high X, so yeah, watch, 1 shot. It doesn't quite explode, but it's pretty darn close, doesn't it? Wait, he's going for the... Wait, why? Okay, he's just throwing them out like crazy. He just wants to make sure he doesn't get hit by any sort of anti-tank rounds, apparently. Now, first round does go wide of the anti-tank gun, and first one from the anti-tank gun goes and hits rather well. Not that I'd be too concerned were I the tankers in this particular crew.
Vehicle now ready for action. P-47 refueled and standing by.
And bizarrely enough, Tac Support Company gets called on in, so just in under 20 minutes, 422 to 179. An early base lock just completely wrecks Ace. He doesn't go for any kind of mortar. He doesn't go for any kind of... Yeah, he doesn't go for any kind of thing that I was thinking of. I would have thought going for a mortar to push this back. Not the sniper, but a mortar team, probably. And these guys should be concerned, really, about losing this garrison here. Instead, the lieutenant gets in behind and just carves these poor pioneers to pieces. And there goes finally the garrison. Sniper in the meantime falls on back. He's got about, what, 20 kills or so, but he's outmatched. He's only one man against this entire race of Americans here. 22 kills. There we go. There we go. So A's not really able to call anything on in. He's got nothing left. He's under a trip cap. He's got no real positions to hold. And whatever he does hold gets countered. It's, well, okay, well, one squad of grenadiers. Well, here's a machine gun supported by 2 riflemen. P-Grens, well, they'll chase back the M2HB, but in turn, we have an MG42 right here. We have the Sherman shifting on around. So it doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. It ain't gonna work. There goes one garrison right there. This squad of P-Grens is gonna get slaughtered. This anti-tank gun up here is gonna get completely wrecked. That's picked off. And yep, an Ace calls it quits just as a Sherman comes onto the field with a Calliope on top. So in just under 21 minutes, we are going to see a surrender, 422 to 125. Tomakaze takes out Ace. Not perhaps the highest tier of play seen from either player there, but it's a slightly different opening from the USF. Seems to confound the Germans and leaves the US with a victory. That's going to be enough for me today, though, folks. Thank you so much for coming on out and checking out another game as per usual. If you have not yet checked out the Twitch channel, I will hopefully see you guys over there pretty darn soon, and I will see you guys next time. This is Con Ulrich signing off. Y'all take it easy. Have a great day.